I just caught the end of the Zelenskyy Trump meeting at I guess the White House. I tried to go backwards on the live stream, but it wouldn't let me go to the first of the interview for whatever reason. Anyway, usually it does let me. Anyway, so it was really intense. It was really, really good. Trump is basically saying you're nothing without us. We funded your army. He gave praise to the Ukrainian soldiers for their fight. And basically what Trump is sounding like is you're on your own now. We're not going to help you. We're going to pull out we're not going to fund you anymore. And what's basically going to happen unless other countries like Europe join in and try to defend Ukraine, which I don't there's this whole narrative with the left. They keep on saying that Putin wants to take over Ukraine and then he's going to continue to go into Europe or other places. They just make this up. There's no facts. There's no. Ukraine used to be a part of the USSR, and I think that Putin wants it back. He'd want it to be a part of Russia because what's happening is a civil war. Let them fight it out. It's just here, if we have to go through a civil war, let us fight it out. But we're sitting here and trying to help Ukraine, trying to help them with their democracy. The people like Ed Krasinski and Brian Krasinski, every single thing that they post is anti-Trump. What that tells me at this point, they're anti-American. They're always for when I say them, it means everyone on the left basically, because they all say the same thing. They're all in lockstep. They won't deter at all. They don't have any. These guys with the Krasinskis, what I respect is they actually they engage in debate. Destiny, he engages, even though I think that he's a vile human being. At least he tries to, he engages, even though I disagree with him on a lot of different things. But a lot of these, they don't, they just they want to be in their own bubble. They don't want to think for themselves at all. And then they say that you're in a cult. This is the thing, is they always project whatever they're doing onto you all the time. I don't care about Ukraine. I don't live in Ukraine, and in fact, some of my ancestry is Ukrainian. I'm American. I'm not Ukrainian. I don't give a fuck about Ukraine's democracy. I don't fucking care. In fact, I'm tired of America spreading our values onto the rest of the world. This is why other countries hate us. If we want to spread our values onto the rest of the world, if we want to spread our values onto the rest of the world, the best way to do it is by example. Because people listen to us and they look at all of our problems at home, because we have so many problems here, and we're trying to branch out to the rest of the world and try to tell them how to live when we at home are in a degenerate society, which it has evolved into. It's still predominantly a trustworthy society for sure, but a high trust society. But we still have a lot of problems, and you can see, once that trust is broken, if we go from a high trust society, we can go easily from a high trust society to cannibalism overnight. It could happen in a blink of an eye. But we're out here trying to push our values onto everybody else, trying to tell other people how to live when we're not living good ourselves. Let other countries live how they want to live. Let them do what they want to do. We should be spreading our values and getting people to want to be like us because of our example, not because of force. And we've been like trying to force our agenda by overthrowing lots of different regimes. Maybe some of them deserved it. I don't know. Um, but the bottom line is like we need to stop trying to be the world police and just worry about ourselves. It's like casting judgment onto others when you yourself have multiple problems. Like, I have this problem where I talk crap about like how I don't like fat people. Well, man, I've sat here and I'm 205 pounds. I feel so fat now. I've gotten fat since I don't have a job. How have I got since I don't have a job? I've gotten fat. That's crazy, man. So like, who am I to call anybody like make fun of anyone because of their weight? I shouldn't be making fun of anybody. I should be worrying about myself, and that's how we should be in America. We should just be worrying about ourselves, trying to make ourselves stronger. Then other people will naturally see how well we're doing, and they'll want to replicate it. That's how we should spread our American values. And our American values is not democracy. We are a constitutional republic. This is what our founding fathers they wanted. A democracy is people voting things in themselves. And what else can be voted out? What else can be voted out? The Constitution can be voted out. We can change any amendment we want. We just need the votes. So like, I like there being a set of rules that we shouldn't murder people. Like the one of the great things about Christians and Judaism is the Ten Commandments. Just a great set of rules, man. We should have a base set of rules where you can't fucking steal from people. You can't kill people. You don't hurt kids. You don't try to. You know what I mean? It's just there's a lot of good values that do come out of Christianity, which I do agree with. That's why I would rather live underneath a Christian society than an Islam society. Any day of the week, I'll take Christianity over Islam 10 out of 10 times. Because I don't have to worry about them killing me, and I do with the Muslims. Like, a lot of them are very, very peaceful, but like they still, could. You see what they do. They can be radicalized. But we should stay out of other people's business. That's the thing. Is like, look at our inner cities. Our inner cities are garbage. We have an overbloated society, overweight society, on many different levels. Whether it's actually like being physically obese, like me, I'm physically obese at this point, or being like obese when it comes to in comfort, like a comfort of obesity. So it's just like, when you see these people like the Krasicines in the left continuously put like favoring Ukraine over our country. At this point, America voted for President Trump. They wanted to see reform. They wanted to see massive reform. And I see that there's a lot of things behind the scenes that's happening right now that is a good thing for our country. I hope that there's a lot of arrest, because I think that there's been a lot of corruption. I think that there's been a lot of these. It's on both sides, Republicans and Democrats. A lot of Democrats, though, have stolen from the American people in some type of way. I don't know if it's one of the forms is, our government sending checks to people who claim to be on Social Security, but these people have been dead forever. Like, where's this money going? It's got to be going somewhere, so let's investigate where it's going. And in my opinion, it's probably going to some corrupt some I don't know. It's going somewhere, because if it hasn't been, like, somebody's been dead for like 300 years or something. I don't know, like some of these 150 years. Like, so like these people have been like, where's that money been going for like 50 years? Like, it's been accumulating somewhere. So like, we should be able to recuperate that money or whatever value that is. Like, and I think that's just one way. I think that there's a lot of different ways that, like, these corrupt politicians who have been pushing this propaganda on us, this woke DI propaganda, which feels like utter slavery. This is why, I feel like I don't want to do anything. I don't want to work because I don't feel like there's any carrot at the stick anymore. And these people on the left, they think that if we continue business as usual by, like, not trying to balance our budget at all, just continuously, like, expanding the money supply, helping other countries continuously, like we're some kind of charity. When what I've said so many times, like, hey, listen, man, I don't have the money, but if you have the money to help out people who are less fortunate here in America, in other countries, use your own money. But they don't. They just want to continue to expand the government, making it more and more authoritarian, granting more power to themselves, and that's all they care about is power unto themselves. When I see people like the Krasicines still fighting every single day against Trump, against the American people, that tells me that these people are corrupt. There's something going on behind the scenes. I think that, like, I don't know. I think that there's probably this script that's given out to them every single day. All these people on the left, like some type of mass email or something. I don't know. Something happens every single day for them to have some narrative that comes out. For them to be lockstep in every single thing, to not have an independent thought, to not sit here and be like, whoa, this doesn't make any sense to me. Kind of like, like the pushback on Vivek Ramaswamy with the visas and all that, and Elon and what's happening right now with the Epstein files not being released. So it's like to not think for yourself. Like, for me, the big one for me is, like, I think that remote work is fine as long as people are getting their job done. Whatever is required of them is getting done, and it's getting done in good quality. Who cares if they come into an office? Who cares if they do the work from home? It doesn't matter if they wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning and do their work, or they wake up early, get their work done. As long as they're doing their job, it doesn't matter where they're at. And I understand, like, the whole, hey, we got to still fund these buildings. So, like, yeah, well, guess what? Then we don't have to fund those buildings no more. That's less of us spending money on those buildings, or people working from home. So it's like, when I look at these leftists who automatically, like, it's, you talk to one of them, you talk to them all. You argue with one of them, you argue with all of them. They won't change their mind. They won't think for themselves. They won't think outside the box at all. They always have to stick with the narrative 24/7. They can't challenge anything. They don't have a skeptical thought in their mind unless it's something about Trump or it's something about Elon. That's it. And the funny thing about Trump and Elon is they both were Democrats. If those two were Democrats right now, the left would absolutely adore them. They would adore them. So that should say something to you. Like, if you don't like Elon, if you're against government, if you're for government waste, like Doge is, like, sitting here, and sure, they'll make some mistakes. Like, they'll recommend axing some program, and it affects something that's, like, really big. Then we could bring that back and be like, okay, that's a little bit too much. We axed a little bit too much, and yes, they're gonna make mistakes. It's like, nobody's perfect. No president's perfect. Trump's not perfect. Biden wasn't perfect. For sure, he was unperfect. Obama, Reagan, nobody's perfect. It doesn't matter what president we bring in next. They're not going to be perfect. We're going to have mistakes. But what we need is, like, to actually work for the people, for these representatives who we elect to actually represent us, and not just represent themselves or the people that are, like, the bureaucrats that fund them. And that's the big problem. It's like, there's this, they call a blob of, like, bureaucrats who sit here and have, like, these this control. And some people I know, some people on the far right say who they are, but like for me, I look at it as an entity, um, uh, uh, a blob of elite people who want to. They don't have anything better going on with themselves, and what they don't understand is like whatever way that they want to push, it will lead to destruction, not only to our society but to them too, because there's no way in hell you elites who are pushing this woke crap, all this like authoritarianism, like when you just take and take and take and take from us, and people have nothing left to, like, they don't care, like there's nothing, they don't care, they will be coming after you. You were not invincible. I know that these elites think that they're invincible, they're gods, but they can be touched like anybody else. And I'm not advocating for violence or nothing like that, but I'm saying, like, if there's a will, there's a way. These people rely on people to serve them. A person can infiltrate that, become a servant, and do what they need to do. They are not invincible. They're not invincible, and that's what they think. It's better to try to appease the people, because the masses will cause it. It just seems so weird how, like, so many people are like in this psychosis of some type of, like, I think a lot of people just don't pay attention to what's happening right now. And that's a part of it, but there is a lot of people who believe and trust the propaganda. They trust. It's hard to challenge, like academics. These people who seem like highly intelligent people. Like, they have big words. They have these fancy degrees. They make a lot. They have their high status. They make a lot of money. If I had to challenge them, like, which I don't, because I'm like a low status peon. But if I had to challenge one of these people in a debate, I feel like they would just completely annihilate me, because I don't think I would have the confidence. But, and I think that's the average person that feels the same thing. It's like, I'm not that. I'm not. These people are way smarter. They seem like they know way more than I know. So it's like, who am I to challenge this? Who am I to make? And that's what they want, is they want us to think like we're not as smart. We can't think for ourselves, and it's I think there's a lot of more people waking up, and especially since we've had a red wave. I think that tells me that people are waking. They see what was happening, and what I hope that Trump does so well that there is no 2026. We're gonna go with the Democrats again, and that would just be weird. It's like we gotta pick. If you guys want communism, then let's go for it. It's just like, let's just pick one or the other. Like, we can't just sit here and being like waffle anymore. We have to pick which way we want to go, because if we want to pick communism and we want to pick societal collapse, then that's the way we're gonna pick. You guys want to go off a cliff? You guys want to go with the Democrats and just like continue to fund and expand the money supply and devaluing your and dealing with massive inflation and all these booms and busts, like, instead of like going into, I want to get off of capitalism. I don't want capitalism anymore. I want robots to do all of our stupid jobs. I don't want to do I don't want to work. I don't want to live. If I wanted to just like do stupid like hard labor jobs, I would just work on a farm myself. I don't want to do these hard labor jobs no more. I would rather use my mind and create amazing things that people can be entertained with. They can learn from. They can expound upon. Like, okay, look at my songs. My songs are horrible. Look at Enslaved Ones. Look it up. You can find it on YouTube. My songs are absolutely horrendous. They suck. That is why I haven't taken off, because my music is terrible. But some of the words, somebody might be able to take my lyrics and make something beautiful out of it. So, that's it.